Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we have got ourselves a TvP. It was played before Christmas, so a little while ago, but not too long. And I just saw these players' names and I thought, you know what? I gotta cast this one. In the top left, we have got our boy, the American Protoss. It's Neeb. I am a big fanboy for Neeb. I'll admit it. He's just so good, and the fact that he's an American makes it really exciting. He was making us nervous a little bit with his performance throughout 2018, 2019. Really, 2019 was not a good year for Neeb. 2020, it started to look up towards the end anyway, so I'm excited to see Neeb with his incredible PvT taking on just a monstrous Terran. It's Cure. Now, Cure that shouldn't need a description on this channel. I cast him all the time, whereas it's been a while since I cast Neeb, I feel like, partially because he doesn't play in a ton of online open cups and things. Yeah. Anyway, though, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen, before this video gets too far under the way, seeing as how there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. 14 characters between Neeb and Cure's name. Let's go for 14 likes on this video. Of course, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and join the Bell Gang too. As we watch these SCVs go ahead and stab this poor probe. In a roundabout way, really, it is the SCVs probing the probe with their drill. Now, yeah, let's take a look here. Cybernetics core is on the way for Neeb. Then Nexus behind this, but I mean, Neeb's wall is a rather interesting one, I will say that. Neeb is one of these players who's so confident in his defensive play that when he decides to go for something like this, maybe it's him sort of like trying something out, or maybe he thinks like that this is the way to go, to wall on Lightshade. Yeah, it is a bit interesting though, the fact that he just elected to basically not try and wall on the high ground. I don't know if that's an easy thing to do, or if he's just worried about like it. Yeah, I'm not sure what the reasoning for this would be. Anyway, cool to see. Maybe it was because he realized that Cure wasn't going for a Reaper, but no, he didn't see that. So this Adept, she's going to have to shade away. Throws a glaive at one of those Marines. The good old Frisbee throw. Second Adept coming forward. Neeb going to be going for a Robo opening as his tech of choice. All the while Cure behind this is going to be getting up a second barracks behind his factory, and oh, he is going for a tech lab on that factory, so we could be looking at a bit of a tank push from Cure. Probably a Cyclone first, right? No, it's actually just gonna straight up be a tank. Really aggressive play here. Now, Neeb is poking and prodding with his Adepts. He wants to potentially get any pickoffs. He's already got one kill, so that's one Marine less that he'll have to deal with when such a push hits. He does have a third Nexus on the way, however, and that is a very greedy third for Neeb. Yeah, a third base so early against a heavy aggressive Terran 2 base play. Like, this is going to hit hard from Cure. There's going to be Stimpack, there's going to be tanks, there's probably not going to be any Medivacs or anything, as Cure's just on 2 gases still. It's kind of crazy that he's going for such an aggressive play. I know that Terran's going for tank pushes is kind of just like a meme. It's like, oh, I don't know how to play TvP, I'll just tank push. But, I mean, a tank push that's this committed is crazy aggressive. And now Neeb has spotted that with his hallucinated Phoenix. He's seen tanks, seen the factory, seen the stim. That's really gonna raise the alarm bells for Neeb. Yeah, I was just gonna say, probably gonna be chrono boosting out that Immortal, and he is. He's actually gonna try and sneak up a Robo Fae before this push hits. He should be able to do that, but he is gonna chrono boost out yet another Immortal behind this constant Immortal production. Then we'll probably see him warping some Zealots at some point as well, I imagine, to help him buffer for this. Did he catch a glimpse of that army pushing out? I'm not too sure, but oh lord, it's coming towards Neeb's third base. He wants to move out with this army to try and force a siege up on the tanks before this hits. In reality, this is a very scary push, but it's not that much from Cure. I mean, these are Marines that will have stim. That's the scariest part about this. There's about 20 of them in total. But oh man, they did kind of just sneak up here on Neeb. A bunker is going up now. That is key here. The Protoss player having to pull his units back. He's got to make sure he gets those units back to his shield battery. Neeb actually just straight up engages this. The stones on this guy. Holy cow, I did not expect the Protoss just to rinse that Terran army. Oh my gosh. Those Protoss ground units were able to tank a lot of shots, while the Immortals got the damage done. 7 and 3 kills on each of them respectively. Neeb does have to back out of here, as those Stim Marines are still a threat. But oh my gosh, look at this. He's actually just out on the map with 2 Immortals against what the Terran has. Neeb, with the mental maths, is just like, yeah, I just killed all those units, so there really shouldn't be enough to snipe down these Immortals so he can stray out with them a little bit. That's actually just such a smart play. And now we see the Protoss player up to 3 Immortals, getting a Colossus out behind this. And all Kier has is 2 bases. He's getting up combat shield +1, just building his starport now, however. So Kier is in a rather significant spot of bother. And yeah, we'll see if he's able to do anything to come back in this game, because he is behind. The Protoss player is on 3 bases, whereas the Terran hasn't even thought of going for a 3rd yet, it looks like. Now, it seems that Kier is just going to try and go for an attack yet again, maybe wait till combat shield's done. I'm not sure if he'll wait till +1 is done. I think he's got to hit before combat shield's done, because this army is looking really scary for Neeb. Like, there's a Colossus and Immortals out. He's getting up 4 more gateways so he can go for big warpins. No Twilight Council just yet, but I have a feeling that this army of Neeb should just be able to roll what Kier has. And there we see it, the Zealot and Adept warping to help buffer for this. There is 3 tanks, which is a little bit scary. Neeb isn't just going to charge right on in, they're all gung-ho. So the tanks will have to unsiege, but once those tanks unsiege, I feel, Neeb can take this fight. See, he's shaded the Adepts forward to see if the tanks were unshading, or were unsieging, pardon me. They did not. And that's cleared, that's basically been Neeb's alert to say, no, wait, you can wait, it's okay. You're gonna have 2 Colossus soon. Ooh, Neeb pulls the trigger, a little bit disjointed there, has the Immortals going forward. I think he ate a few too many shots before that fight happened. However, it looks like he will still clean this up very handily, as he is able to cut down those Marines with the Colossus. He did lose those 2 Immortals, which was a little bit needless, I'll say. They ate like 3-4 shots before they were actually able to get out there. I think they ate about 2 shots, really, before Neeb surged forward. Still, though, I'm rather concerned for the Terran player, as Neeb, he's sitting pretty, 67 workers getting up a cannon in his main. He's got a Colossus waiting there, while Kier's just planning to go for a drop. And, I mean, drops can sometimes find damage done, but I get the feeling against a Neeb who's got good production, who's got a good economy, and doesn't really have too much else to worry about. I mean, there's no Liberator harassment, no Widowmine drops going on while this drop is going to occur, and so I'm rather concerned for Kier, because there's no way that this drop is going to get anything done, really. Alright, charge is not yet done, so those Marauders awkwardly say bye to those Zealots. Let's see, 3rd base is up here for Kier. All the while Neeb. Yeah, just doing Neeb stuff, getting up High Templar. Those will be for Archon, since Psystorm has not started. Protoss player's getting up an extra Forge to have his upgrades going. He is technically behind on upgrades. So that is the one thing which I'll say is pretty good for Kier. And all Kier coming in with this drop, able to bounce towards the 4th base. That seems like a bit of an oversight on Neeb's part, not being in position to deal with that. He, however, does cancel it, but now we see the drop into the main base by Kier. He's going to try and make a play here to come back in this game. He's not going to get too much done, but it is kind of hard for Neeb to clean up these drops, as he doesn't have Blink yet, since his Twilight was his later tech. Looks like the Prism for Neeb, that does have speed, is going to head into the main base of Kier, get some counter damage done by warping in some Zealots towards the main base of Kier. Kier is coming back with his Vikings, with his Marauders and Marines. Oh, that Prism's got to get away, though, as the Vikings are looking for it. The Vikings are looking for it. Looks like that Prism, oh, not going to get away. Only 2 SCVs die, so good response by Kier. Neeb is still trying to get up that 4th base, but oh, look at this drop in his main base, and Neeb is out of position. I mean, he was deflected this drop so much that Kier probably thought, yeah, there's no way he'll come in, or that Neeb probably thought, yeah, there's no way he'll come in again. But in reality, Kier is thinking about it. He scans. However, the army of Neeb did come back. That Colossus, the watcher of the main base, is doing his thing. And yeah, let's take a look here. We have got 2-2 now on the way for Kier. So his upgrades are looking pretty good. Neeb just heading into 2-1. Ghost Academy on the way for Kier. And the Terran player does have a 4th base on the way, so this really has turned into a respectable macro game. I'd say Neeb definitely has a lead this game, but it's not a given win for him. I mean, there's Vikings out for Kier, there's tanks, there's going to be ghosts on the way, and that's going to make things a lot more scary. Neeb probably going to have to burn a recall here in order to deal with this drop. He doesn't have the blink yet either, so he can't punish these medivacs that easily. He is going to shave off quite a few of the units, however, and while this is going on, looks like I think some suicidal zealots ran towards that 3rd. Neeb's got another prism looking to hit the back of the natural, it seems. Kier's drop, now heading up into that main base. Not much in position there for Neeb, however the army quickly gets into position. Not the best base setup though to help deal with this. Neeb loses a forge, so gonna lose his +2 armor, which is a little bit painful. I'm not sure that upgrade was too far under the way, but that definitely still hurts. There's going to be a drop towards the south by Kier, and Kier really is just testing Neeb. He's giving him a hard time. As a Protoss player, you have to do a lot of work to keep up to these drops, whereas someone like Kier, he does have the skill in order to just be hitting multiple locations at once. And if you leave Kier unattended with a drop, he will find some work for it. It's just kind of comical how these medivacs are still chilling out here. Neeb looks like he might have had enough. He's going to hit towards that 3rd base, and a lot of the bio for Kier is out of position, but the tanks do actually make Neeb hesitate, so not going to get where he needs to go. We see the drop for Kier going to hit the 4th base of the Protoss. Neeb's going for an attack into the main base. The wall of Kier is doing what it can. I'm not sure it's going to be able to make this happen. Those disruptor shots go up. Most of the army of Kier on the front does get cleaned up. A lot of SCVs have died. This drop is being deflected by zealots by that shield battery overcharge. I mean, the battery does get targeted down at the end, so the Nexus will fall. Looks like the 3rd Nexus could potentially fall as well. However, the zealots are repositioning. There's also a disruptor hanging out, and Kier is in a lot of trouble. He's got Liberators set up in the main base, shaving off a lot of these zealots. Tank as well. So the main base is really well fortified. He's also got a tank at the PF, and Ghosts and a little bit of bio there too to help. Neeb's going to have to commit on this base to break it. Are the SCVs going to repair it? Looks like the answer is no. Kier's busy microing his drops. Going to pick off that disruptor. A recall does get used by Neeb. What's he bringing home? Just a fraction of his army. Not enough. Or the bio maybe could have taken that on, actually, as Neeb didn't recall that much, but of course Kier didn't know that. The Terran player still fairly close to the Protoss in supply, but he's got to shut down the production of Neeb, it would seem. Otherwise, the Protoss will just get off a few Zealot Warpins, and then he'll be too far ahead. Kier's drop is going to be able to shave off some of these Zealots. He's microing those Marauders in the Medivacs, lifting them up, but as we see the Immortals come forward, they just pick off those units too quickly. The army of Kier is unloading. Looks like a Colossus is going to be getting nabbed. This drop's going to reposition to the main base. Kier just trying to pull his opponent apart. He's also got a hefty amount of army still just chilling at his natural, but he's got like no mining whatsoever. Kier just trying to keep the dream alive by hitting all over the place. Maybe he has to hope for one big fight. I'm also a little bit concerned. Those Neeb's also warped in a Dark Shrine, so he can warp in DTs, and the Terran is only on 2 orbital commands, so that could be a factor. I think this game is going to come down to the one big fight. Both players equal on upgrades. There is, however, Ghosts for Kier, so maybe he'll be able to land some clutch EMPs. Maybe he'll be able to catch the Terran army a little bit split up. Kier's making a few Marines and such, keeping them back at home, which is good, as he does need something to defend these DTs, which are counterattacking, as Neeb queues one up to every base, but really there's just 2 bases. The fight's going to start happening. Cure tries to push forward, eats a disruptor shot. There goes down some units he won't be able to easily replace. He's going to have to inch forward with his tanks and liberators, it would seem. However, he's starting to get further and further behind in supply. Looks like the DTs at the natural base do get pushed away. But yeah, Neeb seems to have Cure with this one. I mean, there's the disruptors, which can just get some big pickoffs. There's not that many tanks set up. And now Neeb has actually caught Cure off guard. Disruptor Nova's gonna go down. The Terran player gonna be getting pushed back. GG gets called. Cure falls to Neeb. I was gonna say takes the game. No, Neeb was the one who took the game. Well done by Neeb with a great engagement at the end. Just getting those disruptor shots. A big fatty one there. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I thought this was a pretty darn good game of StarCraft 2. If you did too, make sure to hit that like button. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. Consider becoming a member. That link is also down there. That's the best way to support the channel. And if you do want to get more videos, consider subscribing. I'll see you guys next time. My name is LaughNgamez. Thanks so much for watching.